got cheese lips. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream for Tuesday. I think it's where I am. To the open panel. The Hey Moose, what's up? And Plasma. Oh, a chair on the yes, the back porch. That was my the one we did during COVID. That's what we called it because one of the members said early on, before, really kind of before it got off the ground, she said, going to, this is when everything was on Zoom, so it wasn't YouTube. She said, going to your Zooms feels like hanging out on somebody's back porch, just chatting and having a conversation. I said, that's perfect. That's the exact feeling that I'm going for. And so we called it the back porch. So yeah, pull up a chair. We have plenty of, we're a whole row of rocking chairs. Every kind, size, shape. That's how my grandma's house was. She had all this weird stuff. They had gliders. I don't know if they have those outside the South. They're like metal chairs that slide back and forth on this bar mechanism. She had rocket chairs, swings. I can't tell how many porch, the porch swings all over her yard. She had these chairs they were like metal seats, and they were on a big spring. They were welded, and then they were on this like metal pedestal. And she had those interspersed throughout her yard. And you'd sit on them, and they would do this. They were like sitting on a spring. You could make them go in any direction. They're fun. Hey Bart, what's up? I haven't really looked at the news today. Now that I think about it, I saw where they passed the spending bill, I believe. So now, does that mean it's passed, or does it have to go back to the House? Cops in the form of alligators. What? Yeah, see, it looks like a non-news day. So that's that. What's going on with all of you? Hey, Crystal Phoenix Rising. Oh, also, it's July today, so that means I can give out memberships again. So I'll do that later too. If I forget, remind me. But I want to open up a few new memberships for the month. Let's see who's streaming. Um, not really. Not really any of the people from here. Oh well. Hey, Miss, is that Miss Thing? Is that or is that a sock? Or are you the Miss Thing? Kane, what's up? Hello. What's going on tonight? It is you? Okay. Well, welcome, Miss Beaver Thing. Just, hey, Vic. How you doing? Salut, Vic. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Salut, Vic. And salut, Bart. And Moose, salut. I think it's only for men, right? Do women get saluts? I don't think they do. I think it's just like it's a bro code. Bro code thing. Did I miss any bros? But also, you can't spread the saluts too thin. Like every single bro can't get one. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know actually. But they said it was like just for your inner circle. But salut nonetheless. Um, as far as me, oh yeah, we're building up. Oh, you're not. You don't salute. Do you care if other people salute you, or it has to be both ways? See, this is always way too complicated. I'm surprised the people that I see mostly using it are able to keep up with it, with all the rules for it. Oh, well, y'all could still be salud. Salud. I'm supposed to put more U's in it. Salud. Like Scooby Doo. Scooby Dooby Doo. Yeah, who know? I don't know. It's I'm in my salud phase. It'll pass, I'm sure. And Beaver Dam, I don't know anything about, but I can make a few inferences, none of which are appealing. But it seems like something bored YouTubers would come up with. All right, where is the party, the people, the conversation, the the bros, the dudes? I watched that video last night that I told y'all about from what's his face, Dax. In fact, let me drop it in the chat. It was pretty good. I can see why somebody told me to watch it, and it wasn't too. They made it seem like he was on the side of men really should not show their emotions, but it was more like don't complain. Just do the stuff you need to do and quit whining about it. But I think
Salute.
emotions are fine.
How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up?
Salute.
Salute, Busker. Salute.
I always thought it was salute because I've heard people say that, but like
Salute.
I thought it was like something like a salute. You know what I mean? If it had something to do with that, like a salute your captain or whatever.
Salute.
I don't know if
I don't
that's
know.
like
Is there a T on it? Salute. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
I
Salute.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know Italian, but it does sound like salute to me.
Salute.
I mean, it always did, kind of.
Hey, Nick Volt. Nick Volt. I watched that video you asked me to watch, and I lost a lot of respect for both of you. I think both of you went very, very, very low in a way that was off putting
Uh-oh.
on both sides. But also, that video was supposed to explain your troll. But that's not the beginning of the story because the video starts with Mike making reference to you talking about his family
Hmm.
before this conversation either even starts. So there's something that Mike's reacting to before this that you're reacting to his reaction, and you know how the circular domino troll goes. Yeah, I really like. I'm not one to tell people what to say or how to talk. I can only react to what I hear. And both of you, none of you can. Y'all were like two pigs rolling around in the mud as low as you could go. None of you came out clean that day.
Was it alcohol induced?
I don't know.
I mean,
There's no
I've
way
had
to do a blood
like
alcohol
that's
on
why
here.
I try to very limit like once every like couple months I'll have a drink, and then if I end up on the stream of somebody's stream, and I've been on yours when I was drinking, but it wasn't like I used to. But I do know that this has helped me quit drinking. Cut back, severely cut back.
You mean being on YouTube?
Yeah, being on the panels,
Oh.
I feel like I don't want to be the asshole that I always was when I was drinking way too much.
Oh, 'cause the whole world could see you?
Yeah, they just know, I don't know, it's kind of obvious when I've been drinking way too much, and it's the
Yeah,
problem
sometimes
is
it
that I
is.
drink too fast. I can't seem to slow down, so if I'm ever going to drink again, I have to drink very slow. But I did have a stream with my friend. He goes by Ricky, and he brought some moonshine over to my house. He came all the way from West Virginia, and the moonshine I took very little sips, and I made it through the stream without any kind of, craziness.
How'd you feel the next day?
Great. It
Okay.
was just like little shots of this moonshine. It was peach moonshine, and we were smoking pot all night, but that doesn't really do much to me anymore like it used to a long time ago. um,
Oh.
I'm
It
puffing
seems like it
some.
does. Like you seem excited when
Well,
you
I
have
mean, like
a new
that
strain.
that that's the great thing about pot for me. It's uplifting if it's the right strain, if it has the right terpenes in it for sure, right terps. But man, I gotta tell you, that blueberry, that was like going back to the '90s. I found blueberry. I think I might have told you about that one. Have you ever had
The
blueberry?
um yeah, I'm sure I have. The last one we talked about was Drippin' Ain't Easy, and I
Yeah,
forgot to
dripping
use it
ain't
as my title. I need to write it down.
dripping ain't easy. So I really didn't know what the fuck that meant. I'm like, okay. But apparently it has something to do with cannabis. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. Dripping ain't easy.
Drippin' Ain't Easy will crowdsource it. If the people that hang out here don't know, I don't feel like the information is out there.
Yeah, I mean, like it just all depends on the partakers of the cannabis. That's all. It's all good. Not everybody likes it. Um, the only reason I can handle it is because I'm on clonazepam, and
Oh.
that was just by chance. Like every time, like 15 years ago, I'd be smoking pot all my life, but not a whole lot, per se. But once it became legal, I was already on clonazepam because I was drinking myself out of um, seizure auras and panic attacks, anxiety attacks. That was the only thing that would cure it or mitigate it, not cure it. But the clonazepam, I gotta say, even though it's more addictive than heroin, uh, it keeps me nice and calm. And I probably told you, it kind of takes away your creativity. Um, I haven't made a song in years.
Because of the Klonopin?
Yeah, it
Oh.
it it totally, like, I gotta say, it just totally takes away any kind of want for much of anything that you used to want. Like chicks, I don't really care about them anymore. And music, I can play music. That's no problem. Smoking the pot will help me play music. But before, pot used to help me create music, but unfortunately, clonazepam gets in the way.
Oh. Cause I had a prescription for a while. I was on it daily,
How
and
long?
I hardly noticed it at all. It didn't do any of that to me.
Were you on less than a milligram a
Oh
day?
yeah, very low dose.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
like,
supposed to take it was for the panic attacks, but I was supposed to take like a tiny dose in the morning and in the evening just to keep a certain baseline in my
yeah,
system. And
yeah.
then the Xanax was what would actually keep the panic attacks. I would use that as needed. But
Yeah,
because the Clonopin was in there, it made the when they did hit, they hit less, and the Xanax took. It didn't take as long to work, and so they would end faster because of
yes,
having that baseline of Clonopin in there. So it was just enough to give me a little bit in my system.
I hear you. Um, I used to be on 1.5 milligrams, but my last psychiatrist who ditched me a long time ago took me off that half, and that kind of fucked my mind up. I was only on 1 milligram, not 1.5 milligrams. But it's just like whatever, you know. It's the back door to an antidepressant, but it's not an antidepressant. I kept telling this. I tell them like, yeah, like I don't feel depressed like I used to. And well, that's the back door. You shouldn't be taking it all the time. But
What
like
does
that's
that mean?
just it was just another doctor that was telling me this, and yeah, I guess I can get it, but I sure as fuck don't want to be on an antidepressant. I'd rather be on this any day.
They didn't
And
do anything for
also,
me.
like, but that's not the reason I take it. It's like I said, I have abdominal spasm that they come about, and then that sets off anxiety in my brain, and then it's either I drink or I take a Klonopin. I started off with Xanax. That's the devil of benzos, man. It doesn't last long at all, and
It's enough to get that panic response down, though.
yeah, but
I
then
take
like
just enough. I take like half of a. I have the lowest dose possible, and I take half of that.
yeah, I started with I quit drinking for 3 months. That was the only time I ever quit drinking before, as of recent. I mean, the past since fucking panel channels. Like back, I had no intention of quitting, but then the MS was like really fucking me up with the alcohol and um, what was I gonna get at? Damn it!
Are you able to just ride out the panic when it happens until your
No,
like sympathetic nervous system resets?
no, unless I have to have something to mitigate it. That's the only thing. There's nothing that gets rid of it, and it's
Why come you have a yellow dot on your head?
look at
A
that,
circle.
I don't know.
a yellow circle.
I used to get really bad panic attacks, and my doctor gave me like Xanax, which I don't react well to, and then he gave me Klonopin, which you're absolutely right. When I was on that stuff, like I couldn't do any music. I had no desire to.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's been like that for 15 years.
and I don't. Okay. Um, do you need anything?
You're
Um,
cutting out a little bit.
I don't like anything which sort of subdues the mind, but panic attacks really suck.
Oh,
Finally, I started, and this was years ago. I mean, I still take it now. Effexor has, like, I haven't had a panic attack except for once, I remember, and that was like maybe 10 years ago. Um, but Effexor, and then my doctor gave me gabapentin, like, as a mood stabilizer, um, which prevents me, because like, I used to have a really bad temper, as Jeff, you probably saw or watched. Um, but with those two, it, my mood tends to stay normal. And if I am starting to lose my temper, I can like back down
Is it a
from it.
Spurg thing? Because a lot of Spurgs do that.
It is.
Oh,
No, it absolutely is. And it's one of those things. Once I start, I can't stop.
yeah,
Um,
it's a cascade.
once you pop, you can't stop.
and I even know that I'm doing it,
Is that
but
what Dutchie did? She made you pop?
that was different. I
Okay.
forgot what she said, but we're lovers now, so it's okay.
Oh,
Even though
that
I'm
I
thinking
keep
of breaking up
forgetting.
with her, I think I want to break up with her.
Uh-oh.
He's Dutchie's bitch.
Yeah, but I've become more of a power bottom with her. So
Be careful though. She lets you think that. But
With power bottom.
Don't underestimate her.
It's power bottom. This guy, this girl, or somebody, she introduced me to this song, and this guy is known as Power Bottom on YouTube streets,
Oh,
and they call
there's
him.
another gay out there. It's,
Well, yeah, and
in the
he has this
streets.
really deep South voice, like you wouldn't think he was gay.
That's his YouTube handle, Power Bottom.
No, no, no.
Yeah, well,
He didn't like that because like people were calling him Power Bottom, and I didn't get involved with that. But I just they made a mix, uh, kind of like a techno song about Power Bottom, and yeah, he
Pop soda. I use cold water now, and it shocks the nervous system. Anything that will shock your nervous system into going back to the parasympathetic state,
yeah. I
and it
tried the
worked.
water.
I've never had a problem with. Every now and then, I'll have to do like that little half a Xanax if it's really really bad. But
Yeah.
that's
Early
like
on,
once every few years.
early
does
on,
anything, does something trigger them, or do they just come?
No, mine start. It was medical. I had no issues at all. It was when I was teaching, and my body would just randomly start. I thought I was having a heart attack. I got taken out on a stretcher
Oh
at
wow.
three times at the school in front of the kids, thinking that I was having a heart attack. And it turns out that it was panic. And he said that my adrenaline gland was like leaking adrenaline, like it was leaky, and every now and then it would like dribble out a tiny bit of adrenaline, and that's what was
Oh,
causing
interesting.
it. And so he said, do this Clonopin Xanax regimen.
I wonder if that's what caused mine, or if it was just the MS. I don't know because my brain's totally screwed.
Because mine was not situational at all. I didn't even know what it was for real.
Yeah,
It just it
exactly,
would happen randomly out of the blue. I'd be up in front of the
exactly.
classroom teaching, and all of a sudden I'd be like, "Oh no, this is the big one, Elizabeth! I
Yeah,
am having a heart attack right here in front of these kids."
it's yeah, and well, even like just for me, it's like just being around a lot of voices at once. Like back in the day, like that would set it off. If I ate too much food, that would just having too much food in my stomach, that would set it off. So it's
Well,
totally what
Nick is looks
you're
half
talking
dead.
about.
Busker is at least my is that is the camera still doing that funky thing?
What's that?
Or he could just be a troll. Somebody's clacking away.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, that's me.
Oh.
haha. I can't type that fast anymore.
We could
I
hear your
used to type
nails.
really, really good when I was a teenager to 20s. I was really great at it, but not no more. I hunt and peck these days because I can't see.
They
Hang
have talk to text now, but it doesn't understand my accent a lot of
You know,
times.
my talk, because I don't think I have an accent, but it gets it wrong all the time. Like I have to use it while driving, because in here in California, actually, there's past a lot. You can't even hold yourself anymore. But yeah, my text or speech to text is really bad. Like I usually am texting my TA while driving to campus, and she's like, "What the hell are you saying?"
on.
Oh,
I get back, I'm like, "Oh, that okay, that sounds kind of weird."
Yeah, dude, these fucking AI things are not perfect at all. I mean, it's getting there, but it's
I don't think so either.
using text to speech. I mean, like if it doesn't understand you, you might say something really heinous, you know?
It does mean something else. Because we're from the kink world.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, "Yeah, I
That's what
don't."
I know it as too. It is. It's.
Which I don't know how like guys
I
are into
guess
that.
it's therapeutic for
I
people
couldn't do
if they're
it.
into it, but
Like the ones where you get kicked, I was like, "Wow, that's okay." No,
Dr. Volt, is that you in the picture there?
That's an AI representation of me.
That's what I was figuring. Like, is your hair really like that long? I'm just
Um, in
uh,
the picture, yeah, sometimes it's that long. It's not right now.
yeah.
It's like halfway there. In fact, it's funny. Somebody, so if you go on ChatGPT and you have my real name and you ask ChatGPT who I am, something pops up, and it pulls up this old picture of me actually when I was an undergrad, which is a really good looking picture because I have this like nice like long punk rock looking hair. And it was funny. Somebody posted it to try to dox me and annoy me, and I was like, I really like that photo of me. I'm like, well done.
And that's just like AI or not, just CG, whatever, AI eyeshadow or something. You look like you're part of the Raccoon Club.
Yeah, the AI did your makeup too.
Yeah. Well, so it was funny. I was testing AI because AI, like earlier today, I was making. I asked AI to give me religious text based on if Jesus was a dolphin, and it gave really funny stuff. But then there's some stuff which AI won't do. So in this photograph, the lighting wasn't very good. So I said, make me look lighter, and it said I can't do that because apparently it thought it wanted to lighten my skin, which apparently that's racist. But then I said, make me look like I'm in a golf club,
What?
and it did.
Trying to be white is. What if you had said darken my skin? Would that
Man,
have been
dude, that
racist too?
that is so fucking stupid.
You have to stay in your skin tone lane. That's disturbing. Which AI was this?
Um, just ChatGPT.
Oh.
Well, fuck Chat GPT.
Because I don't have any good pics of my golf days because they're so long ago. We didn't even really like we would bring pagers around and stuff.
You're a
Right.
So
goth. Like it would. You're a goth, and it wouldn't light your skin.
yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to do. To make me look pale. Um, I don't know why I made it. There's probably on some panel.
Like you have to stay brown. Like,
Apparently,
Oh my god.
hey, Daniel
You
Barry,
have to look multiracial,
you.
right?
That's
yeah.
racist to have your skin lighter.
I mean,
Wow.
my skin is already
You.
light. So
It
like
is
I
more.
didn't think it was that big of a deal, but
What
apparently.
about people that like bleach themselves or do those
Well, in
like go
India,
in
it's
the sun
perfectly
or what
normal.
even tanning? Is that racist?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it cultural appropriation?
In a lot of Asian countries, you can purchase skin lightening cream. It's not something I would ever do, but um, and of course, people from India have a huge spectrum of colors. Like my ancestors are from northern India, so we have lighter skin, versus if you're from South India. But uh, yeah, when people try to apply uh, the sort of racism we have here in America to other cultures, it just doesn't work
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
because it's different. It's
They
just
tried it
different.
with us too,
Yeah.
down in Louisiana, and it
It is
didn't
true.
work.
I remember when my mom's sister was getting married. This would have been probably in the 90s. Um, and, with big families, they have arranged marriages. Now, it's not arranged like you think, like, oh, you will marry this person. It's rather that the parents and, the family helps. This was the days before the internet. They try to find, a good mate. And the guy who she actually ended up marrying, I remember my mom didn't say this, but my mom's grandmother was like, "Well, he's too dark. The kids will come out dark."
So even in India, it's better to be light.
That's what I've heard. I don't really know.
Wow, I
Um,
this is eye opening to me. That's what I was wondering, Tella. Like anal bleaching and stuff like that. Is that racist?
do
Oh
you do that to make like your butthole look like a cat's butthole? Like,
Who you
I
asking? Maybe it's for anomancy.
wonder what mine looks like. I've never looked at it.
oh my god.
Well,
Who the fuck wants to bleach their butthole?
I
I
don't
guess
know.
porn
Just I
stars.
see. I should never started that shirtless stuff.
Yeah. But here in LA, we have
Damn, B say what? Is
there's
it
a
Nick? You got to be talking about Nick.
what? I don't even see.
Somebody is
Um,
not happy with you. You say you're a big talker,
I am a big talker. I get paid to talk.
but he wants to see a face with that mouth. That's why he doesn't say anything about Mike. Mike can come up here and big talk, but at least you can see him doing it.
Yeah. Oh, I can put my camera on. I look like
You
crap
don't.
right
No, you don't have to. It's not bothering me at all.
now. I do have a big mouth though. That's how I should ask her. It would be a weird conversation. There's a place here in LA called Pink Cheeks. They'll take all the hair out.
Oh, of
And then I
like
started reading about it
before you
because you
bleach
could
it.
do it for both men and women. And apparently, people show up to those places without properly cleaning.
Uh,
Yeah, like who does that? Like I was reading on Reddit, this one woman came and she was all like sweaty, and the person refused to work on her, and then she had this what do you call it? One of those Karen freakouts. No, not on Reddit. There was a YouTube video of it,
Wait,
and
a Karen? It was a Karen that freaked out because they wouldn't bleach her anus.
well, acting like a Karen. No, I think she wanted like one of those Brazilian things, and
Oh.
apparently she didn't wash. You got to wash before that stuff.
How do you? Oh my God! How?
Like I would
First of
be
all, she's
so
not a
embarrassed.
Karen. Would never do that.
Like
How
before,
do you?
even like when I
It's
go
got to
to
be for content. There's no way that
no,
somebody would be
see,
that.
yeah,
well, like when I go to the salon to get my hair done, I always make sure like I wash it right before,
Yeah,
even though
I
they
do
wash it
too.
there. I don't want it to be, you
Take care,
know.
Pop Soda. This is probably a good time to peace out. Yeah, I don't get it. There's no way that lady's not in her right mind. There's no way a normal person would show up asking for that
Well,
and
I think
not
it's once
have
again
at
one of
least
those.
washed, if not full prepared.
Oh, I see. That's why I can't see it. I got this person blocked apparently.
So they told her no.
Yeah, they told her no, and she complained. She's like, "What do you
How
mean?"
did they? Were you? I want to hear that
I
conversation.
got. I'll find the video.
I'm sorry,
did she
man. We're
not
not gonna
wipe
be able
her
to bleach
ass?
you today.
Is that the problem? She didn't wipe her ass or something?
Well, apparently, well, it wasn't for her where the poop comes out. It was the other side.
You came at a weird time. Yes, I would affirm
Yes,
that you came at a weird time.
it's a weird conversation. If you saw that movie,
And
40
welcome,
Year Old
Elena.
Virgin, when he gets his chest hair taken off,
Yeah.
that's at Pink Cheeks, and those are actual employees there.
Oh yeah. Did
Okay.
do they
And I only know
wait?
because I had a girlfriend who went there, and I don't think I could do that for myself.
Well, we can change the topic too. I don't know how we
Yeah,
ended up in
I'm
this
not really
particular
interested.
hole.
I don't even know how we got on this. Oh, skin bleaching.
Yeah, like that. It's right. We were trying to figure out if anal bleaching was racist because the AI told Nick he wanted his photograph like a shade lighter, and the AI's like, "No, I can't make you lighter. That's racist. You have to stay the skin
Jesus.
color that you are."
Yeah, and I wanted to look like a pale, doll because
And so
Man,
the AI refused him on grounds of
that,
racism to
that
lighten
one,
his facial color.
I,
And so we were trying to figure out what else is racist. And
well, like it wouldn't. I asked AI, can give me some jokes around the dolphin Muhammad, and it said no, you can't. It was funny. It said no, you can't do that, and then the next line it suggested, do you want me to make more jokes about dolphin Jesus? Oh,
yeah, of course,
I'm like,
that's
oh,
what, of
okay.
it
course.
has some filter on it that's censored because
It's
it would
totally
not make me a picture of Donald Trump for MLK Day because it was on the same day, his inauguration and MLK, and I wanted a thumbnail that captured both, and it
Oh,
said it refused to put Donald Trump
Jeez.
and MLK in the same thumbnail. Because he said that would be offensive to people.
oh, you know what ChatGPT will do? I did it just as a test. I put some of my lecture notes and I said, convert this to what's called African American Vernacular English.
Oh, Ebonics, yeah, I know
And
Ebonics.
it did it. It was, yeah, it was interesting.
You should read some of it.
No,
Oh,
well, maybe not my lecture notes because somebody might get offended. I don't want to offend anybody, but you can try it. Just take any document, and it will convert it. And when the way it
all right,
converted
let's
it
try it.
was almost like a parody of itself. Like I took it as wow, kind of a racist joke because of the way it did it. Because watching these body cam videos, I don't think it's like what they call African American vernacular English. I see a lot of like white people using the same kind
Nobody
of language.
calls it that.
Yeah, nobody calls it that. Like people say, "Oh, they're lying on me,"
Yeah,
and
that's how we grew up saying it, lying on you.
yeah, see, I'd never heard that before.
Oh
Actually,
yeah, she's like yeah.
the first time I've
Or
heard the
the
word,
black people used to say story. She's you story. You or she story. Instead of lie, they would say story.
I've never heard that
They'd
either.
say you story it. She stories.
Um,
God.
the first time I heard the word X was when I was at the university. Like I never heard that word. I was like, "What?"
Really? You grew up
Yeah,
sheltered then.
yeah. Well, I grew up in South Orange County. It's
Oh. Did y'all have black people?
no,
There you
we
go.
did not. Well, a diverse community, just like where I live now. But no, I mean there weren't a lot of.
Can
There
you
weren't.
have diversity without black people?
There's some who would disagree. I actually got angry at a colleague when they said my town was whitewashed. I'm like, no,
Shit.
we're a very diverse town. We just, there's
Don't
just.
have black people.
I mean, that's like saying like, oh well, we don't have a lot of Vietnamese people here, but we have everybody else, so therefore it's not diverse.
I mean,
Of course,
technically, it is diverse if there's a mix.
well, like my
It
neighbors
doesn't.
across the street, interracial marriage. Um, Technically, I'm in an interracial marriage. The ones right next to them also interracial. Next to that, we have a family which is from Iraq. Over there, we have somebody. They're from China.
Oh no,
And
we'll
then my other
replace
next
this, I
door
guess.
neighbor is from New Zealand. And then we've got Japanese living down the street. So that's pretty diverse.
Yep.
If you're just looking at,
Y'all need a black person. It bothers me that y'all don't have a black person.
well, we're getting more because
Oh, okay.
um, it's just a changing demographic. I mean, even where I lived used to be hardcore red. Now it's what you would call purple.
Well, I can give you some of mine. I got a neighborhood full of them.
Yeah, you might have to import.
Actually, once the house right next to mine was like a rental property, and a black person moved in, and it was so funny because we do the King of the Hill thing every once, especially during the summer, where we'll stand in front of our houses and talk to our neighbors, and all of my neighbors were just using euphemisms to say, and I was kind of laughing at that. I was just like, you guys are all like sort of closeted bigots.
You mean when they were talking about the neighbors, they would
Yeah,
do it in
like,
code?
oh no. Of course, ironically, that neighbor decided to stop paying rent, and it took to evict them. And yeah, but of course you know that just means they're a bad person. Not, I guess, doesn't really have anything to do with their skin color. Of course, I've always argued that diversity isn't the way you look; it's the way you think. Um, and
Yeah.
if you use that, most neighborhoods, regardless of what color people are, tend to be pretty homogenous. We tend to live around people who act like us, and I mean, it's just part of evolution.
Called America.
Damn, B say you're really bothered by this.
I know he's really triggered,
P-
which is
well,
awesome. Apparently, I had this person blocked because I had to go
oh.
in StreamYards to see what they were saying. Because I was like,
Well, yeah, peace, and it's good seeing you. I don't even know. I've been doing this so long, I don't even notice who's cams and who doesn't.
yeah.
I just see little squares.
I
I
also
just leave.
learned when on panel you shouldn't really read the chat.
Oh, you mean when you're a guest?
Yeah,
There's a lot that
especially
goes
if
on in
you're
the
on
chat.
a show where you have people in the chat who don't like you.
Oh, there's no way I could not read the chat.
Uh, that's why sometimes, like, my friends will say hi to me in the chat if I'm on panel, and I don't say hi back because I'm not reading the chat. I wonder if this is guy, like, I'm on a Discord server and they're getting all butthurt because allegedly I ratted somebody out. Somebody was filing like these false DMCA claims. And they said it publicly that they were doing it. And
Hey, Brit and Vermont. What claim?
DMCA,
Copyright?
Digital Copyright Millennium Act, which is technically a federal
Are you
offense.
talking about like striking channels?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, like what they did to Lord Duck. Um,
that was
and
Nunzio, huh?
yeah, and that's just like that's what people used to do in the beginning of YouTube. It's considered a very childish thing to do.
Yeah,
And
but I know I've seen first. I've seen the Panelverse. I know it's going to act childish, so I
yeah,
build that into my expectations. But just people in general are gonna like they do that kind of childish stuff.
well,
So
like we were talking.
if it's possible, if it's a tendency in human nature, there will be people that will
Yeah, I have
gravitate
this
to it.
friend who I've known for like God, 17 years now. Um, he was one of the early YouTubers. His name is Thunderfoot, and um, he did this web series on why people laugh at creationists. And this one young Earth creationist started filing these false copyright strikes. Uh, you can go to court. You can be sued civilly. So this guy sued him civilly, and part of the settlement was he had to post a video of him apologizing and admitting to the false DMCA claims. It was pretty funny.
Damn.
But like some people do it to try to get people's real name and address. There's this guy, I forgot his name, but when that Chili De Castro was striking people to try to get their names, you pay this guy $5 and he'll respond to the DMCA claim, so you don't have to give your real address and your real name, and it's perfectly legal. You can have a representative file a counter notice for you.
That's way too much time on YouTube.
Yeah, well, some of the big channels, it actually does cost them money and stuff like that. I mean, like that Penguin Zero, he makes good money on YouTube. Imagine somebody filing false copyright strikes and he loses his channel.
But
Even if
he's also probably smart enough not to get a copyright strike.
true, true. I am saying an illegitimate copyright strike.
Well, isn't that easy to verify?
It is, but plus that's a big channel. They got resources. I mean, it's pretty easy to fight that. But when you use it against small channels like Lord Dog, like they don't have the
What? But
resources to
Doc
fight.
was using something of Nunzio. How did the copyright strike get
I
approved?
have no idea what the
If
story was.
unless he was using content
Yeah,
that
from what
got
I
it
heard, it
approved.
was they were saying mean things. That's what I heard. But I don't know if that was all that it was. When Zell was up here, it sounded like there was a little bit more to it, and it sounded like Lord Dog wasn't necessarily denying it. But I guess she agreed to withdraw the copyright strikes, which you can do. That's
I
perfectly
thought.
legal.
Well, she agreed. I thought it was Nunzio that did it, not her, because she and Doc called some kind of truce. But Nunzio's the one that had that actually did the
Yeah,
strike, and he said he's not calling it off.
and it's kind of weird. Like I consider myself a separate person from my wife, but when you are married, that line gets a little bit blurred as to who's doing what. Like I could say, I mean, let's say my wife was filing.
But I mean, there's an electronic paper trail through YouTube
True, true.
of who did the strike.
But sometimes like the partner or her partner would stream under their name. Like if my wife, she's got her own YouTube account, but if I did a stream under her name, is it her doing it or is it me? I don't know. I don't really care.
What?
I don't
But
even
I
know.
mean, Nunzio said he did. He took credit for it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it sounds like the same 15 people from like 3 years ago, just all fighting with each other over a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for their logo. That's what they got struck over.
Yeah, that's
The
silly.
avatar, not even the stream. But don't they have to prove it?
Not only that, I think it has to be trademarked because the YouTube terms of service
Oh,
basically say you can take any video on YouTube and re-upload it, and your
but
avatar.
it's not even video. It's the avatar. It's
Yeah,
not even
even
the
the
video.
avatar.
It's the graphic.
I mean, I could use CBS News's logo. I mean, I guess maybe they would follow false strike if I also called myself
But
CBS
why is YouTube falling for it? Is what I want to know. Like,
because there are no humans.
I could report Waffle to YouTube and say this guy's little Waffle avatar is from my Facebook.
Well, the
Why would
digital,
YouTube believe me unless they had some way of verifying that I'm
well,
telling them the truth?
the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is kind of weird. It just was done to like stop pirating and stuff like that. Um, it's actually the person who gets the copyright strike. It's their responsibility to prove that it's not a
That's
copyright strike.
ridiculous.
The way the
So
law is
Waffle has to prove that he didn't
yeah,
take it from my Facebook. How do you do that?
and well, the way the law is written, that once a privacy strike is filed, the hosting service has to remove whatever the strike is against. Yeah, you need to counter strike, ask for a human review, which sometimes doesn't even work. Then the only recourse is to basically sue them civilly by going to court.
Waffle, you got struck too? That's so stupid. I mean,
Yeah,
it
and
is childish. It
that's why I called it
really
out.
is.
I was like, you know, one, this is stuff which little kids used to do 20 years ago when YouTube first came out.
Yep.
And it's just fascinating to see 20 years later, there's still YouTubers who think, oh, I found this secret weapon to basically say, oh, well, my ego is copyrighted. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Did anybody care if they're using the logo? Probably not.
Yeah.
In fact, we should probably stop talking about this because when somebody's DMCA happy, they'll file a strike against anybody for the
For
dumbest
what?
reason.
I'm not using anybody's content. In fact, they use mine. I'm the one that should be filing the strikes.
Man.
But this other person who doxed me because they used a really nice photograph of me, I was like, I'm not going to file a DMCA claim.
So you can file that on doxing because Nunzio doxes left and right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sort of goes hand in hand, filing false DMCA claims and then
And
also
doxing.
doxing. These are both like 13-year-olds who just discovered mom's Wi-Fi password and are creating trouble on the internet. It's childish, and I don't even know what it's about. Like I don't even know why these. Like I said, it's just the same
I
seven.
have
Maybe
no
Waffle
clue.
knows more than I do, because I'm just watching, lurking in the background, going, "What are you guys?
It
What
keeps changing. I think it's fake drama. I think it's just
That's
storylines
what I
for the
think. It's like the
panelverse.
same 17 people just having drama between each other.
Yeah, it's like the flip a card drama storyline of the week.
It's like wrestling. You make up a story and
Yes,
she's pregnant with her mom. Wait,
because
she
people will
told her
come in
mom
fighting for like 2 weeks, and then they'll be best friends on another panel a week later.
exactly. Oh yeah, like this Ruru. I don't know why they don't like her. I saw somebody put a somewhat bigoted AI.
Cheesehead got struck.
Yep.
Dang. What did Cheesehead do? Like, what was his copyright thing? Because as far as I know, that Cheesehead is his.
I only know about it because this one guy started running around going, "Nick's a rat," just because I told Nunzio, I go, yeah, filing a fake DMCA is pretty much a BS move. And then I don't know if I was on a panel or in the chat with one of the people who got struck, and I said, "Oh yeah, Nunzio admitted to it," which he did. Didn't he? He admitted to it.
Yeah, he
So
admitted to it on here.
you can't rat somebody out who's publicly admitting it on a live public panel.
He seemed proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was proud of it, so that's not. Jerry Cherry Murphy is a great name. And apparently, I think if you get like 3 of them, your channel can get taken down.
Oh, he was posting memes about, yeah, that kind of, see that, but so they're not just innocent. They're not getting struck over nothing. He's finding things that are strikeable that they're doing,
Well,
like
a
using
meme,
his likeness in memes and
yeah, but if it's transformative, if it's parody,
well,
of
apparently
course,
YouTube's judgments, it's not enough
yeah.
to
I
take
mean,
it out of the category of.
honestly, I think if somebody actually fought it, like let's say Cheesehead put a meme and he actually went to court, he would probably win. That you're allowed to, what's considered fair use on YouTube is pretty broad. Um, yeah, Hunchback, exactly. It's the same 12 people. Of course, it sounds like fun. I'll admit my mood stabilized time on YouTube lately is not as exciting. Present company excluded,
Oh,
of
I
course.
was about to ask if it's helping you as well. Like Busker said, being on YouTube is one of the things that helps him.
Well, it helped me during COVID, that's for sure. And the great thing, I mean, having human interaction and having positive conversation, even having arguments with people, so long as it's not personal, it's good. It's a good thing. Um,
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think that's a copyright strike though. Can you actually strike somebody where YouTube will automatically take it down just for harassment and bullying?
I mean, you could file a report or whatever,
Yeah,
but
you can
it
file a
sounds
report.
like the issue is they are using
The Copyright
images
Act.
of Nunzio in their whatever content they're putting out about it.
But if it falls under fair use, then it's a false.
Saluve. Well, apparently it doesn't because they're getting their channel. So you're
Well,
taking a risk when you do it, and you're rationalizing to yourself it's fair use. I'm fine, and YouTube is looking at it and
no,
coming to a
YouTube doesn't
different
look at it.
conclusion and taking the channel away.
But
So
YouTube doesn't look at it.
ultimately, it's up to YouTube as to whether it's fair use or not, because they're the
YouTube
ones with
only
the
looks at
controls.
it if you do a counter strike. The way the law is written, if I make let's say let's say I file a DMCA claim against this stream right now, YouTube has to by law take it down. Um, they don't even investigate it. It
Then
gets taken.
everybody would be losing their channels all the time. If
Well,
a total random stranger can file something and then they're required by law to take a channel down, that would be
I
none of us would even be able to
well,
use
I
YouTube.
agree. And in fact, just search false DMCA on YouTube. This has been a problem ever since the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Now, filing a false DMCA, you sign under penalty of perjury that this is actually copyrighted material. You can get in a lot of trouble even if you think it doesn't fall under fair use. If they go to court and it does fall under fair use, then you're liable. And that's why, and multiple times it's happened, but like with my friend, it was basically either you pay me a crap ton of money for filing a false DMCA claim, which included punitive damages, or I'm going to make you humiliate yourself by basically telling the world that this is what you did. And I believe YouTube, if somebody does it enough, they can get in trouble for it. But to be honest, these channels which this is happening to, they're relatively small channels, so YouTube doesn't really do anything about it. Because I mean, if your channel gets taken down, you can just make a new one. Yeah,
I just don't think YouTube would be taking the channels down if there wasn't something
no,
substantive
they have to.
behind the
They have
claims.
to take it down. They don't have a choice.
But I don't believe that because nobody would have a channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I like right now,
Everybody would constantly be reporting everybody else's channel and getting it taken down
no,
all
but
the
what I'm
time.
saying is the deterrent to it is it's illegal. It's illegal to do it. It's a crime. Um, but when it's small channels fighting with each other, it usually just gets shoved under the rug.
I don't know. It
Um,
doesn't. What you're saying doesn't sound right to me.
but also, if you file a counter notice, YouTube will just come back and say, no, that's not a
It
false
sounds
copyright.
like they're using Nunzio's picture in some memes, and Nunzio's telling YouTube, "Look what they're doing with my picture. I don't want them doing that." And YouTube is shut the. Like it sounds almost as simple as that.
But it's not YouTube shutting it down. YouTube has to by law. They have to do it. Um,
I don't believe that.
well, look at
That makes
YouTube.
no sense to me. That anytime YouTube gets a report about a channel, they have to take it down.
Let me see if I can find the host has to take down
I don't
video.
know. I don't know if he's speculating or if he knows something I don't. It just doesn't sound.
So, according to law, under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, a website or online service provider, OSP, hosting a video must remove or disable access to the video if they receive a valid DMCA takedown
Valid.
notice. Yeah, well, valid means because you have to fill out a form.
Well, what do they say valid means?
Well, you have to fill out a actual formal form. Let me see if I can find it. DMCA.
That's what I'm saying. YouTube has some way of determining when it's worth
Well,
taking a channel down and when they
no,
can
no, 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 no.
safely ignore it. They
They
have YouTube,
first
and
have
it
to
looks like in this case they looked at whatever Nunzio
They
showed them
didn't
and
look at it.
decided, yeah, we see your point. They shouldn't be doing this. We're gonna
No,
block
no.
their channel.
What you're not understanding is no. YouTube only looks at it if the person who got struck files a counter notice. If they don't file a
Waffles, did
counter,
you get an email? How do they know if it's valid? They have to determine if it's a valid. That's what I'm saying. There's checks and balances
no,
to
but
keep
yeah,
everyone's channel from being taken down all the time.
that's what I'm saying. There is no check and
And
balance
it
on
seems
this.
like this validity concept is one of them. So they have to determine that it's a valid claim first.
Oh,
You're saying that's done by a computer?
no, no, no. Once a DMCA is filed, the host has to remove it.
If it's a valid claim, you just read
Well,
that.
yeah, but a valid claim for
So
YouTube
there's
is
some criteria for validity.
yeah. The validity is the person filing it signs under penalty of perjury
Where
that
would that's what you're saying, but where does it say that that's what valid means?
let me find the actual section in the law. Give me a second.
So like Internet God, if I file a complaint on your channel right now, the AI is just going to believe me and shut it down?
It has to.
No. It does not have to. It says valid. You can't evade that concept.
Yeah,
That's
but
very important here
valid,
because it
valid.
determines that is what limits it to channels that have a probable reason for a copyright
No,
strike versus just anybody
no.
randomly getting their channel
Nobody
taken down.
looks at it. Valid means you sign under penalty of perjury that you,
Where are you
or as
reading
a
from the
representative,
website or you're just saying that?
this is the way it's always been. In fact, this is
No,
something which
I've
all
never heard this. I've never
uh,
heard this definition
YouTube
that
people have
valid
been
is that you
complaining
signed
about
for
this
it.
ever since the DMCA came out.
Okay, well, I want an official
Yeah, I'm looking for
definition
the
of what
actual
they mean
law.
by valid. So, because to me, it has to mean something more than just that to make sense.
Is this like have to do with the reporting of somebody? Like you can report somebody on YouTube, or yeah, you can report.
Okay, here it is. It's Section 17 U.S. Code 512. So here are the limits. It does say that the service provider must, quote, act quickly to remove or disable access to the content when they receive a valid DMCA take notice. But it does define what a valid takedown notice is. This is in Section 3 of the same 17, blah, blah, blah. You have to identify the copyrighted work, identify the infringing material, contact info of the complaining party. So you have to provide your valid, like, you can't do it,
Yeah, that makes sense because you have to
a statement of
show
good
that it's
faith,
your content. And so
a
that's
statement.
what Nunzio's doing. He's saying, "Look, these are my photos that they're
Yeah,
using." That makes sense.
but what I'm saying is YouTube doesn't evaluate whether
Well,
that.
show me that. That's where are you reading that?
I'm reading it
'Cause
right out of the law. It says
the law says
a
YouTube doesn't
statement of
evaluate.
a statement of good faith belief. So you have to state, it's basically like an affidavit, that yes, I own the copyright to this, and statement of information is accurate under penalty of perjury, and a signature, either a real signature or electronic. That's all that needs to be valid. Then YouTube, according to law, refers back to 17 U.S. Code. They must act quickly to remove or disable access. YouTube doesn't check it. It's upon
How do
it.
you know YouTube does it? What is YouTube's process?
You get a DMCA complaint, it has to come down.
But how do you know what check goes into
Well,
it
because
before you get that letter?
this is in the law, and this is something which has been a problem with YouTube since its
YouTube's
inception.
process is not going to be in the law. That's going to be something YouTube develops in-house, like
No, but
internally.
YouTube has to develop it in house to comply with the Digital Millennium.
Right, but I want to know what their process is.
I just told you what it was.
I send a claim on your channel. What
Yep.
happens?
You send a claim on my
That's
channel.
not going to be in the law. That's going to be in some YouTube document.
Well, it defines what it is. If you so
Right, and then YouTube takes that and modifies it and specifies it for their platform. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Here's the document from YouTube.
That makes sense to me. Tonight you're making more sense
YouTube does
than
check
most
the
people.
video if a counterclaim is filed.
So all our doc and them have to do is file a counterclaim.
Yeah, then YouTube will check it. Now the problem is sometimes YouTube doesn't do a very good job of evaluating the video, because I don't know if it's done with AI, but YouTube may say, "Oh, yep, that's a valid copyright claim." Then the next course of action is you actually have to take the person who filed the false DMCA to court. Now, that's where it generally stops, because if you're a small channel, it's quite frankly not worth the trouble.
So far, it sounds like these people that are getting their channels taken down are for legit reasons, because they're clipping things of Nunzio and putting him in their
It depends.
memes.
I mean, fair use is, let's see, what is fair use on YouTube?
Fair use is determined individual cases, and it has to go in front of a judge. There's no universal standard for fair use. It's
Exactly.
determined each time for each case by the judge or whoever's deciding that case.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So every time you're claiming fair use, you're taking a risk because you don't know how it's going to get ruled on
Well,
if it
yeah,
goes to
technically.
court. So people talk about fair use like it's absolute. Oh, it's fair use. I can do this. You don't know till you're in front of the judge if he's going to apply the fair use standard to what you're doing or not. So
Well,
you're doing it assuming that a judge is going to rule in your favor.
Once
That's
you
how
file-
fair use works.
well,
And YouTube even
yes
explains
and
this when you get your channel.
yes
They have
and
to
no.
sign it.
If you can file a counterclaim with YouTube, YouTube at first.
So
can
you,
decide-
Nick Volt, cannot sit there and determine if it was legitimate fair use or not. So leaving that,
Yeah, but I
leaving
can-
the
I can-
fair
I-
use
I-
issue
I-
aside,
I can claim it.
Nunzio was probably at least able to convince YouTube they were using his content, and
I
that
would
was
have-
enough for YouTube to take the channel.
Well, just using somebody's content is not.
If it's a
considered-
copyrighted content, you just read the damn law. If it's copyrighted, they have to
it's
take it down.
copyrighted.
You just said that.
But for example, how do people review like episodes of TV shows? That's copyrighted
Well,
material.
we're talking about the content of Nunzio's that they're using.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a good example of where you can still re-upload copyrighted material because it's covered under fair use.
If the
Now,
person that
I don't know,
owns the TV show, the publisher, whoever, makes a copyright claim, then they
then
have to
YouTube will
honor
take
it.
it down, but you can file a counterclaim and say, no, I'm either doing, like, for example, fair use is reaction videos with meaningful commentary, critical reviews of movies and music. This one, I don't understand what the difference is. Well, I mean, I do, but I wonder why they identify. You can do a parody, but not satire, which is weird.
But again, all that's if it goes to court. That's like the
Yes,
defenses
that's
that you
if it
can.
goes to court. That's what I'm
But
saying.
Miss Beaver, what someone needs to send that to YouTube then and say, look, they filed a false claim because here they are
Yes,
saying
you have
admitting
to
that it
get
was
attributed.
false. So that it would, if what you're saying is true, then it's stupid of their part to admit that they filed a false claim on
It
publicly
is
on YouTube.
stupid, and that's how we got on this topic. Because I said it's stupid of Nunzio to admit to that.
But it also doesn't sound very false if the complaint is that they're using his
Well,
image and
to
he
be fair,
doesn't want them to.
to
That
be
sounds
fair,
like a
that's
legit complaint.
to be fair, that's just Nunzio telling us it's a legitimate complaint. We'd actually have to see the offending work.
Right. Or the email
Now,
that
tell us things I'm
they got
wrong.
from
You know,
YouTube.
I have quite a bit of experience in this, uh, and I'm speaking on previous court cases where this has happened.
Right,
Uh,
Vic, that's what I'm saying. What's to stop anybody from saying that about anybody's
nothing,
avatar? If YouTube's not
nothing,
checking, like
nothing.
somebody could say shift, oh, that fish is she
Yeah,
got that off my Facebook page. And
and
if
that's what I'm
YouTube's
saying.
not
Nothing.
checking, Shift's channel's gone like that.
Well, if you get three of them, it's gone.
That doesn't seem realistic. It seems like there's more checks and balances than just that.
Tella says I don't have a channel. I don't know what that means, but
What does that mean? No, IG, I don't understand this.
I'm pretty sure I have a channel considering that
How
Jeff
would
just.
you copy strike my channel with my own content?
All you have to do is here. Look, I'll show you. You click, you report, you fill out that form. Now you're doing it under penalty of perjury. You're saying that you do own the copyright. So if somebody files a false let's say I file a false DMCA against one of your videos, Jeff, claiming that I own the copyright. I am
But
committing
this
perjury.
specific example right here of Internet God restreaming my content, it's going to be obvious to YouTube that it's being restreamed, and the original channel is this one. So how could he claim that his restream is the content and not mine?
You would have to. If you file a counter notice, then once the counter notice is filed, then the person who did the copyright strike has to show that, look, this is.
But YouTube can see that because they can see who the original channel is, like the channel the content's originating from versus the one that's restreaming something. So all YouTube would have to be is, no, you're restreaming his content. That's not your content.
Okay, so what Tella is saying is, yes, if you use the, I do stand corrected, if you use the report function, which is like on the bottom of every video, then yeah, it does ask you for a timestamp. However, the link I sent you, you could also fill out this form where a timestamp is not required. You only sign under penalty of perjury that, one, I had good faith or belief that the use of material in a manner as complained and authorized. Information above is accurate. Under penalty of perjury, I am the owner or agent authorized to act on behalf of the owner for an exclusive right for alleged infringement. I understand that abuse of this tool, such as submit and removal requests for content I do not own, may result in the termination of my YouTube account. And that's it.
But then you have to be able to prove that you own the content
Yes, you do
at
have to
some
be able to
point.
prove it, but initially, when you file it, the video comes down. Because the law requires it must be taken down in what was the language you used?
Then why aren't people using this tool all the time against
You would,
everybody? If it's that easy to get a channel pulled, why isn't it being? You know how much people hate each other on
okay,
here.
I
Why
keep,
isn't this tool
Jeff,
being
I
used
keep
more
repeating
often?
myself.
There's something missing from your
Well,
account,
then just look up the law yourself. I mean, you can look it up yourself.
or I'll ask the AI.
All I know is that people have gotten
Because
sued.
I just know the crowd that hangs out here, and if they could just fill out this form and disappear someone's channel, they would be doing it all the fucking time.
Okay, that doesn't change what the law is.
it may mean that you're
And
not
people,
fully
people,
like
people,
are you a master expert on this particular law? There may be nuances to it that you're not seeing that would make
that's
what I'm saying
no,
make more sense. Because
that's possible.
what I'm saying I think is very reasonable, and we're trying to reconcile it with your very very dogmatic interpretation of this law and your faith in it,
Well, you're
and the
adding a
two are
bunch of
not
stuff.
matching.
All I'm saying is that once a DMCA claim is filed, YouTube takes down the video.
There would have been a public outcry over this years
There
ago if
has
people
been
could
a
just
public.
DMCA people's
There
channels
is
all
a
the
public
time.
outcry over it.
Shift, welcome.
There is a public outcry.
Hello.
I'm skeptical.
Look, just Google it for
Well,
yourself.
I just have a question because look, well, I'm coming into this late, so I'm not even really sure, but I'm pissed off anyways. But I've noticed that it seems like these false copyright claims have a better success at stopping a stream even in the middle of it, as opposed to maybe more substantiated claims on videos that remain up.
That's
Why do you think that is?
because because the DMCA claim is a way to get. Let's say I file a harassment or bullying claim. You know, if you go down to the bottom of, like, you can look at this stream where it goes to report. If you report, then it gives you these choices: sexual content, violent, blah blah blah, harassment or bullying. You click harassment or bullying. You're right. You have to put a timestamp. You write what the harassment and bullying is, and then you'll get an email from YouTube saying, "Okay, we'll look into it and let you know what we're going to do." But the video stays up. However, if you fill out the DMCA form, which I linked in the back chat, YouTube, according to Section 17 of the U.S. Code, has to act quickly to remove or disable access. So that's a quick way to get it off.
There's still something missing because people
Well,
would
and I
be
also
doing
think
this all
that
the time.
a lot of these a lot of the false ones, well, the ones I've seen are also mostly reinstated afterwards because it's bullshit. Like that's happened to my
That's
channel
true.
multiple times. Out
Your
of these
channel
strike
got pulled.
wars.
Like when
Yeah,
Chile filed a bunch of DMCA claims, within a week, there were all those videos were back up.
yeah.
But false
Well,
ones, people
that's
have
pretty
gone to court and lost money. I mean, they've been sued and they've lost money and had to pay damages for doing this. But to sue somebody also takes effort, money, and resources.
Well, not if they're going to pay it.
Well, eventually they would probably get their money back. But I mean, let's say you got somebody like Chile, even if you win a judgment that he has to pay attorney fees, yeah, good luck collecting on that.
And then just real quick, because you seem to be well versed or feel like you are, do you think it's, or why do you think that YouTube puts priority, or it feels like that with copyright versus something like harassment or something that feels more endangering to a person
Because
or
of that law.
person?
Because
But hold on, my point is just that YouTube has immunity in that, like we sign away on that when we
yeah,
participate. So why is it more pressing to protect something that's outside of their realm anyways, when it seems like the personal would be something they would want to protect more? I mean,
well, because YouTube has to do it under federal law.
Well, Nunzio,
Whereas
Nunzio, come up. We're trying to figure out what you did.
I'd love to, if we could actually see the material which was alleged to be infringed, that might add a lot to this, because that's kind of important to see whether it's a valid strike or not.
Yeah, because
Or at least has to
all I have
formulate an
so far is
opinion.
gossip of why it was
Exactly.
recorded.
It's just gossip.
But I find it so hard to believe that people can get people's channel shut down over avatars without
Well,
YouTube
no,
even
okay, look, don't you
checking.
remember what happened to Liliana? She was using
No,
the Gremlins chick, the chick from Gremlins, or the little gremlin that
that
dressed like a
wasn't
chick.
her. That wasn't her. I thought that was her this whole time.
Stop.
No,
So she was using that image as her avatar, and the same person that I was just talking about that did the strike wars with a whole mess of us, and they were all bogus, filed that was his artwork, that he'd fucking made the gremlin, whatever her name, the chick gremlin, the gremlin with lipstick, and that was bullshit. That's like obviously, it was from a movie. Like this whole
Did
thing.
it get reinstated after they investigated?
Yeah. Well, that guy ended up. Even he came on my stream, and he had struck my channel. I went to someone else's channel, bitched about it, and then midstream he took down that channel twice. And I felt real bad about that. So then that's Silver Diamonds. And then Silver Diamond approached the guy that I'm talking about, Truthfinder, who taught all these people how to fucking do these mid-stream strikes. Or a lot of them. I don't know about these current ones. And a lot of the content was reinstated and the channels were released, et cetera, because the guy wrote to YouTube and admitted it. But he was using all these like throwaway channels to report it and using other people's government names to report it. But it was all bullshit. But it is effective, and it sucks because there's a lot of content that's repulsive and dangerous, and it remains up.
Yeah,
And
I know. I have
yeah,
some of it about me.
it's fucked up. So, anyways, that's all. But I think it's unfortunate, and there should be a better tracking system. And the enforcement of the TOS on YouTube side, they need to figure out how to do that better because this is.
You know what
Well,
I've
that's
learned?
why I was curious about what their actual process was, like from YouTube itself.
Once they receive it, when they look at it, I don't know how they determine fair use. I mean, I think is fair use listed in the TOS?
They don't deter. That's a judge has to determine that. YouTube can't determine if it's fair
Well,
use.
yes and no. YouTube can determine that because I mean we've seen it before. Like for example, when Chile struck a bunch of videos, those people filed counter notices, and YouTube determined that no, this doesn't file. This is not a valid DMCA claim, and the video went back up. Now then, it would be Chile's responsibility to now go to court and get a
But
judge.
that's not fair. That's fair use is something different than copyright claim.
Well,
Nunzio, we want to hear the process. We've been talking about this. We're very curious how this strike thing works, and since you actually went through the process, I want to talk to someone who did it successfully. Hey, Track.
okay, so YouTube does say this on their TOS. It says if a copyright holder doesn't provide us with adequate explanation as to why a video doesn't qualify for a copyright exception, then the video is not removed from YouTube.
Is
Um,
that the person making the complaint?
yeah,
So they have to provide something
yeah,
substantive.
and that's also what's in the law. It's a
That
statement.
makes way more sense.
Um, but I think the consequence of it, because they're not humans really looking at this, is
That's why it makes me like I'm a little suspicious that it's just about an avatar because there were some memes of them using actual pictures of Nunzio, so he wouldn't have to complain about an avatar if he had actual pictures that he could show up and say, "Look, they're using my shit."
Yeah, but would a picture be a privacy claim, or if it's like a personal picture as opposed to copyright, which would
It's
be attached to
content
something like
that he doesn't want them
artwork?
using. And not only are they using it as content, they're using it in a negative way against him,
Yeah, but
like to
well,
make
again, if
fun of
it's
and harass
informative
him.
content, it's protected. I
somebody posted,
have. I'm gonna drop. I
a
think
troll.
I think false copyright claims suck. It's not wrath. It's just.
I think they do too, but
I mean,
I'm
let's
still
put it this
curious
way:
about how the
a
process
troll
works.
posted a photograph of me yesterday or the day before. I could file a DMCA claim, but I don't believe I own the copyright to that photograph because one, I posted the photograph myself. It's on YouTube. I don't think I
So
would win.
anybody could have gotten it by now.
Yeah, exactly. It's now if I actually, let's say it was a creative photograph, let's say, like I took some Pulitzer Prize winning photograph and, then it's trademarked, then yeah. But a photograph which, one of my friends just happened to take and I posted it on Facebook a billion years ago, do I own the copyright to it? Maybe. I don't know. Um, YouTube determines, so YouTube does use 4 factors of fair use: the purpose and character of use, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount of substantial portion of it used. I guess, like, for example, if I played a whole video or a whole 2-hour movie and just provided commentary in the back, I couldn't do it unless I was Mystery Science Theater, I
Well, that's
guess.
what I'm saying. They were using the content in a way
Well, we
that
don't know that.
was.
We don't know that. Nunzio would have to explain to us what the content actually was.
Oh,
To be
I've
fair,
seen some of the memes. I've seen some of their posts.
well, if it was a parody, then, and to be fair, if we're going to use that, the other problem with filing a false or a DMCA claim is when you're engaging in the same behavior, yet you turn around and strike somebody
Well,
for
did
doing.
somebody report Nunzio?
Probably not, because it's considered a YouTube.
That's on them.
Well,
But
it's
Nunzio somehow convinced YouTube enough that these people were being mean enough to him to get their channel struck. So, however he did it,
well, and it's not that hard to do
he
that.
met their bar because they probably were.
Like, for example, you're wearing a shirt which says neurodiversity. What if the artist who made that shirt said, "Wait, I own the copyright to it"?
Yeah, they probably could, but isn't there something about when you buy T-shirts, like you
I,
own the T-shirt at that
I don't
point,
know.
and if you appear in a photograph or on
But
video or walking down the street, that
if
it's
the
not
person
your violation?
who files it believes in good faith that they do own the copyright,
It's
you
not
can.
about owning the copyright though. It's about I own the T-shirt, and the owner got a profit. They had like a contract. It's more than me. I didn't go to his house and steal his copyright and put it on my shirt. There was a legal process that allowed it to be on the shirt and allowed me to
Yeah,
have
no,
ownership
I
of the
know it's not.
logo.
I know it's not copywritten, but I'm saying if somebody in good faith said
But
yes,
I
it
think
is.
I think that's a bad example because I think currently there are already legal protections from claiming copyright because somebody has a T-shirt with a logo on it.
Yeah, but chances are YouTube would take it down initially.
Again, I'm skeptical. I've heard no
You
stories
just
of
work for yourself.
YouTube pulling channels because people are wearing band T-shirts or T-shirts with
Well, I'm
a
saying
logo
YouTube
on it.
pulling down videos because somebody's filing a
I know, but
filing.
I think there's nuance to it that your perspective of it is
Well,
not
the nuance is
necessarily
fair.
taken
The
into account.
nuance is
And
the
I'm
fair
just going
use.
by what makes sense on the ground in practice and what I
Well, I
see.
mean,
Like I would see different things from YouTube than I'm seeing currently if all this was true.
well, just try going on YouTube. Just type in false DMCA, and you're going to get a plethora of information about
Right,
it.
but I don't know if I'm going to get exactly what you're
This has
trying to
been a
portray
problem which
as.
has been going on for a while. I do agree that there should be. I don't like the fact that the way the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is written, that it really kind of forces the service providers to give the person making the copyright claim sort of the benefit of the doubt, versus it should be the other way around.
But
But
they said that the person making the claim has to show that they
in good
own.
faith, but that could mean anything. Like I said, if I believe I own the copyright, even if I really don't, but I believe I do, YouTube has to take down the video. Of course, the video may go back up once it's investigated, going, no, you don't own the copyright. Um, in fact, in the same section, 512C, Section 1, it says, upon notification of claimed copyright, the service provider responds expeditiously to remove or disable access. Otherwise, the service provider themselves could be liable. And, they don't want that. But Chile did the same thing. He decided that all these people, he said that he owned the logo delete laws.
To what?
He said he owned the logo. There was this other guy who was calling himself delete laws and had kind of the same logo. Chile filed, said, no, you can't do that. I own the copyright. YouTube gives the benefit of the doubt to the person claiming it, but I'm assuming that internet god probably knows more about this than I do because he was around those people. And they said, no, that's fair use. It's a parody. Also, Chile didn't own the trademark to it.
Oh, see, it looks like he has the actual copyright of the picture. You can get it after the fact.
Well, no, Chili tried to do that. He said he got it
Oh,
after the
like
fact.
copyright something after it was already in the video and then claim it.
Yeah, we'd have to see the. We'd actually have to see what's actually copywritten to discuss whether it's fair use or not, because otherwise we're just doing speculation. If we see the work, which Nunzio's claiming is a copyright strike, then we could.
This fair use thing to me is a red herring. It has nothing to do with copyright claim. Like
No, it
you,
absolutely does. It's at the crux of it.
it's not to me. If somebody's
Because
claiming I own that material and I don't want them using it,
unless it's transformative, it's a parody, it's critique. You absolutely. That's not. You can't claim the copyright. And like there was this guy. He wrote this. He did this movie called "Cool Cat Save the Kid," and this YouTuber, a fairly popular one, critiqued the movie and called it really bad and stupid and this. And the guy who made the film got all butthurt and filed all these false copyright claims, and he got in trouble for it because he was using the DMCA to take down criticism of the work. Again, I don't know what Nunzio is alleging. Is a meme with somebody's photograph copywritten? I think that would be more of a privacy strike. But Google it. This has been going on since the beginning of YouTube. But I do know that Nunzio was posting on his page parodies and memes of other people. So
yeah, they all do it to each other. It's
yeah,
circular troll. That much I know. They're
and
all doing
so
it to each other.
that's
But
why
Nunzio's finding a way to get YouTube to
that's
get
why,
involved on his
in my
behalf.
opinion, what Nunzio did was kind of a. I mean, sure, let's say it was legal, but it was kind of a BICTH thing to do. The more creative
I
ways to
don't
get
even
back to somebody.
see copyright on here to report other than legal issue.
Where?
I hit the report button.
Yeah, no, this doesn't fall. This is not under the report button. This
Oh,
you, that document in the back is what you have to fill out, and that I think you get from YouTube's actual page.
you have to go find it. It's not on the video.
Yeah, you do have to go find it.
Oh, I see. Okay. So when you report a video directly from the video, that's not even DMCA related.
No, no, that's just let's say we start harassing Nunzio, cyberbullying him,
I
brigading.
wouldn't cyberbully Nancy.
No, I mean, I'm just using it as an example. He could go hit report um, and file it under harassment, or like when you take off your shirt, somebody might believe that's sexual content. They could report it.
What? This
But
this sexual
actually,
content?
the
I'm
video that
flattered. Please file a report on that. I want that in court.
yeah, one of the ambiguities of fair use, it's the intent.
Right, and that's what I said. Like the stuff they're doing with Nunzio stuff right now is very easy to see the intent. Like
Well,
it's not hard to make your case to YouTube that look, they're using my likeness to make
I,
fun of me.
I haven't
And
seen it, so I can't really comment on that.
well, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, what if somebody drew?
They are giving Nunzio the ammunition.
What if they drew a cartoon of
Well, they're
Nunzio?
not. They're taking actual content of him.
And it depends where they get that photograph from. If they get
Well,
the
like I
photograph,
said, he managed to convince YouTube. So
well, he filed
so
the
far,
copyright and he signed under good faith.
Nunzio gets the score
Going
for
in
that.
circles here.
Like all your little alternate scenarios is not the one that actually happened. The one that
Yeah,
actually
but
happened is Nunzio successfully made a
yes,
claim.
and that's relatively easy to do. You just file under penalty of perjury that you own the copyright. That's all you have
Well,
to
it's
do.
his pictures. It's his content. It's his face.
Well, he thinks it's his content, but that doesn't
Well, it's
necessarily
definitely
mean it is.
I'm assuming it's. I don't know what Nunzio looks like, but
Like for
all the
example,
pictures more or less
let's
look the
say
same.
let's say somebody cut a picture of you from this live stream and started making memes out of it.
Yeah, people do that all the time on
Yeah,
YouTube.
you don't own the copyright to that. But if you file a DMCA and say, "Oh, I think I do," sign it under penalty of perjury, I
You
guarantee you.
don't know if I own the copyright or not because you don't get to determine that.
Well, if somebody
That's
pulled
just
it
that's
from,
just an opinion of yours.
well, no,
A
it's not.
judge might very well determine that yes, I'm entitled to that picture.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can look it up for yourself and
I
decide.
don't have you can't Google future court cases that haven't been ruled on yet. That you don't seem to understand that a lot of
You
this
seem
is
to
determined on
understand
a
that
case by case basis in a
if
courtroom.
there is a
And you
conflict,
can't Google or look up any kind of dogma that's going to tell you anything about how that specific case is going to turn out.
no, that's only if there's a dispute. There is some stuff which is just fair use. You don't have to go to court to determine that it's fair use. It's
Well,
fair
then
use.
they need to tell YouTube that because YouTube is the one when you get your
You're right.
channel that explains how
People
fair
have been,
use works, and it's not something that can be determined on the fly. It is ultimately determined in court. So if you're going to claim fair use, you do so at your own risk because nobody can say for certain until it's ruled on.
okay, well, I've said the way I believe it works.
Well,
You
I
can look
think
it
that
up.
if the way you believe it works is the way you said it worked, I believe that you're wrong in your
Okay,
understanding of fair
you're
use.
entitled to
And
believe that.
I could be wrong, but I'm getting mine from YouTube's explanation of fair use.
Okay,
So that is my source for my understanding of fair use, is how YouTube
but we
explained it
do
to me.
know that videos have gone back up without having to go to court. So it is
Yes.
possible to
None
determine
of
fair
that
use.
precludes videos going back up
I know,
without
but
going
you
to
said
court. I'm
only a
just
court.
saying
You said
the
only a court.
only thing that can ultimately determine fair use is a hearing, not YouTube, not
No,
me,
then
not
why,
you, not somebody's opinion. It
okay,
has to be heard as a case and
then why did
examined.
it? No, it doesn't. Then why do the videos go back
Yes.
up?
Yes, it does. At least according
So
to YouTube.
no, YouTube doesn't take it to court. YouTube
I'm
itself,
telling you what was in YouTube's
yeah,
all the
YouTube
stuff
itself.
about fair use that I signed when I set up my channel.
Okay, where does it say it goes to court?
It's
So,
in those documents.
so then how do these videos which get filed DMCA claim, but then YouTube determines it's
I
not?
did not every single video has to go to court. I'm
Okay,
saying
that's
if
what
they
I'm saying.
want if they need a final determination on whether something is fair use or not, that is the source of that determination.
Okay, I mean we're saying the same thing. I'm saying if there's a dispute over it, but YouTube itself can determine if it's fair use. Now, if YouTube determines it's fair use, but the person still believes that it's not fair use, yeah, then you go to court.
Right. YouTube is determining for their purposes, or they're weighing in on their if they think it's fair use for the action they're going to take. But that can be challenged in court. That's what I'm saying. The judge would take YouTube's opinion about it into account. He would examine himself. He'd have other people take their side into account, and then they would make a determination there. So that's YouTube's position that it's fair use, but that is not the final position.
No, because
YouTube is not the final
you can always
authority
take
over
you can
whether
take that
something
to
is
court.
fair use or not.
Yeah.
And it sounded like you were saying that they were.
No, I think both of us were mishearing ourselves. That we were technically both saying the same thing.
That if YouTube decides something's fair use, that it doesn't need to go to court. And it absolutely can still end up in court and
Or
have somebody other than YouTube determine that,
yeah,
no, YouTube, you're mistaken. It is, in fact,
and
not
it
fair
could go the
use.
other way. YouTube could say no, it's not fair use, but somebody could still take it to court. And but like for example, is Waffles going to take Nunzio to court? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, those channels might go back up.
I mean, the outcome is just not good enough. But there have been people who have been sued over false DMCA and they've lost. There was like some famous, I think it was called HO3. This guy called Venom Fag X, he was copyright striking videos who were critical of his videos, claiming he owned the copyright to his own videos. He didn't.
Because when I set up my videos, they gave me different options of what kind of copyright protection I wanted over it, and
Yeah.
I chose the Creative Commons so that anybody could. But I had to actively select that and give my permission for it to be used that way. I had the option to lock it down more tightly and have it be more copyright control, where people couldn't just use the content. But I opted to make it available for use. So people can set their own videos to be a certain content classification that is more
Walter, why don't you listen
restrictive
to what we're
than what we
saying? We're
use it
not
for.
clueless. We are saying that the copyright, if you file a counterclaim, then the copyright owner must take you to court. I mean, clearly you have a listening problem, Waffle.
How am I clueless, and B, how are we both clueless when we're
Yeah, he's
arguing
not
the
listening.
opposite thing?
He's just being an idiot. I mean, this is why people file copyright strikes against him, because he kind of deserves them sometimes.
No, Waffles, the law that Nick read said the same thing, that the person making the claim has to provide evidence that they own the copyright, that is their copyright.
Yeah, you file a counter notice, your video goes back up, unless Nunzio wants to then go take you to court. Or if YouTube says, oh, no, Nunzio is correct, then you go to court.
But as far as I know, Nunzio's only going around striking channels that are giving him something to strike, to work with to begin with. So
I
these people
suppose.
are kind of being risky with the content that
Doesn't
they're
change the
lobbing
fact
at
that Nunzio
Nunzio.
admitted that he was using it to take down channels.
Jeff, are you not familiar with the truck nuts situation?
Vaguely.
You know what truck nuts are,
Yeah, those little rubber nuts that hang from the backs of trucks.
or whatever? Yeah.
They
But
make it
did you know that there was a schmurder amongst like leading truck nuts companies? I can't think
No.
of what the companies' names were, but yeah, like the OG truck nuts guy, who put balls on his truck first, or whatever, and then somebody else, paid someone to make a mold and do it all, blah 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 blah, and it was like this whole fucking thing, and it ended up somebody like lost their life over it. It's a whole fucking thing. So
Oh,
just
I definitely don't remember that. I thought you and I had talked about the truck nuts thing before in some alternate product.
Didn't one state make them illegal? Was it Idaho?
What?
made truck
What?
nuts illegal.
Idaho of all states is the last
Yeah,
state I would
people were
expect.
joking that they have to neuter their trucks if they come into Idaho.
Oh wait, was it because of like it was like
Truck nuts are
Indecent.
illegal
Yep.
in
inappropriate,
Idaho.
How
It
indecent or something?
criminalizes items resembling genitalia.
Mm-hmm.
How do
The
they eat
dick is
ice cream
now
cones
illegal
now?
as well as
What do
its
they do for
homies.
picnics? Do they eat
Wait,
hot
what?
dogs? What do they do? Like, how do they eat ice cream cones and hot dogs in Idaho?
Yeah, well, they're called glizzos now in that context or something. I don't really know. Anyways, I'm just trying to change the topic to just something more broader, like fucking, mobile
apparently you can't
dates.
make male breasts altered to look like female breasts also in Idaho,
Mm,
I don't know what
except for
Waffles
breastfeeding.
is doing.
mm. I kind of want to sue you, Dr. Volt, for that picture because I feel like it's looking at my soul and I don't like it.
Do you want me to change it for you?
It's just very like Edward Scissorhands goes to a nightclub. Like, it's just
That's
freaking me out.
essentially what it's supposed to be.
Okay, well, I'm suing you for copyright infringement of my brain fears.
I think that's more of a harassment issue.
Okay, well, I'm gonna flag it off. Oh, there we go. That's nice. Is that you?
What is that?
Yeah,
What is that in front of you?
wine,
Oh,
Glass?
okay. Yeah.
blood or wine, one or the other.
Oh.
It's a candle. It's a panel candle.
Hey, Mr. P, what's up?
No, look who it is. Just
Well,
I
like
I
wanted to
only
any
talk
got
about
fucking
the
about 10
cat.
definition
more
of genocide.
minutes, and then I have to.
Just kidding.
I wanted to talk about the definition of genocide.
Oh gosh.
Didn't we do
Wait,
that yesterday?
go into
Yeah,
a tunnel.
nobody got it right. Well, Jeff, you came the closest.
Well, it depends on which definition you're using, but I know that like international law or something has a very specific one.
And also pointed out that Palestine isn't actually a country,
It's a
which
territory.
many people get wrong. Well, technically, it's not even a territory. It used to be. It used to be called
All right.
British Palestine. Um, the African guy was right. It's all the United Kingdom's fault.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what would be different. They're still they still are not going to all want to live together. So
No. You know who made the Palestinian people refugees? It was all the Arab countries. So none of them would accept them.
yeah, none of them want them. All right. I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up.
I have to go to
You,
work tomorrow.
you got anything you want to close with?
Today's my last day off.
You go back to work tomorrow. What do you do? Teach?
Well, no, tomorrow I just have to go into the lab, and technically I go back on Monday, but I need to go in tomorrow and probably Thursday just to prepare. I've got like 4 undergrad students who I'm setting up in my lab to like do see if they can analyze some data over the next 2 months. Um, Make graphs. Graphs are very exciting because I have this computer farm. It's really cool. It's just like parallel computing. Um, but it also means I got to start waking up at an early time,
Hmm.
and I can't play as much Flight Simulator, which makes me sad.
Oh, and probably less YouTube.
Probably, even though since it's summer, it's kind of more laid back. Maybe we'll watch YouTube together while we're in class,
You and your kids? You could show them the
or at least
paper.
just me.
Oh.
I got a picture of my lab somewhere. It's not that exciting looking. It looks more like a storage room because it's filled with junk. It does have a couch though. Very important to have a couch.
Hmm.
And it's really cold in there because there are like 60 computers in there. So plant services, I told them to set the temperature to like 62 degrees. So it's really nice. Everybody should have a lab.
I don't need. I have no need for a lab. It would just take up space.
I have a oscilloscope which is sort of outdated. I can send it to you. You can just put it in the background with a little like
Oh,
signal, and then technically it's a lab.
oh,
What I really
that's
want is it's called a Jacob's ladder. You know, you see it in the old sci-fi movies. It's like the two antennas and like a electric
yeah.
arc like crawls up it. It goes.
I think we had one of those at my school.
Yeah, I want one
We
of those.
definitely had the Van de Graaff thing.
You know, we have one on campus. Somebody turned it up. Freaking shocked the you know what out of me.
My biology teacher tried to get the class to shock me when I was in high school and make the chain and chase me all over the room and try to electrocute me. I do have a lava lamp. I mean, I did have a lava lamp. I think it's somewhere. I've had a few in my lifetime.
I made a Tesla coil. It was for my kid, but it's still kind of cool. I wanted to put a shrimp on it, but then somebody complained that that's animal experimentation, and I'd have to get a bunch of um,
Even if it's
literature.
shrimp, can you just say like you're having a shrimp boil?
That's what I tried to say. But there's a video of my
I'm just
Tesla
having a
coil
few friends over for a shrimp
on,
boil.
on my YouTube page.
Got the Zatarans right here. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a night so I can get myself to bed so I can get up in the morning. Oh,
Sounds like a good
I didn't do
idea.
the memberships. Hang on. I can't leave without doing that. Here we go.
My membership doesn't count because somebody gave it to me.
Well, all of these are. Nobody knows which ones were gifted and which ones were paid.
You know, I had a gifted one on your channel before,
Oh Lord,
and
this one.
and 2 days ago it expired. Like while I was on panel,
Oh,
like I had a star for the beginning, and then no longer have one.
oh, how shameful. I'm sorry that happened.
But now it's back.
I know. We got it. There's got to be a way to get you. You know what? I'll just go ahead and put
But I
out
don't know
five
how. Like
more.
I got a membership for this really cool news, which I wasn't even viewing a video, and I got an email like an hour ago saying, "Oh, you've been gifted a membership." So I don't know how that works.
YouTube figures it out somehow. There's some kind of algorithm. It randomly assigns the memberships. All right, here is five more for the month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, it says Vegas Valley, but Vegas Valley's not in the chat.
Right. He's going to get an email saying you got a membership from the community that you can't even go on panel in because you
Or
can't
Willow.
stop doxing people. Oh, Chopper Jeff and Paul from Discussion Salon. Ricardo got his membership. He's been waiting on this. That's the whole reason he changed his account so that he could get a free membership. And Crystal Phoenix Rising, welcome. Cool. Oh yeah, Ricardo. It worked. Good. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody. Thanks for being members, and thanks for not being members and just hanging out and watching. I
Don't forget to
appreciate
hit
that
like.
too. Okay.
I'll see you later, Jeff.
All right. Take care, Nick.
You too.
Yes, hit the thumb and the subscribe, most importantly. Um, so yeah, I'll probably see y'all again tomorrow. I will hang out for a couple of more hours before I have to. I work every day this week, so actually, nah, I can stay out a little longer tomorrow because I go in late the next day. So yeah, why don't we do it again tomorrow? You too, Miss Beaver Thing, and everyone else, Shift, Mr. P, Ricardo, Kane, Waffle, IG, Untrackable, Nunzio, T-Ball, Telecline. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to go up the whole list. Don't worry about it. And Vinny Pots and Pans. And all of you other beautiful people like Britt and Kimber AK and Hooker. Hey, Hooker. And bye, Hooker. Am I really? Oh my God! I had dropped earlier. I had dropped to 9.95. Wow, that's right on the brink. Well, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be back over 1K, or it's gonna have slid down again, or maybe it's just gonna stay at 9.99. But anyway, thank you all. That 9.99 is all because of you. Trying to get. Wait, what? You talking to me? Oh, I see. Never mind. Yeah, here, I'll drop Mr. P's channel. He does panels too. He goes live now and then. Oh, you know what else I can do? I think I can raid now. So I can drop you in somebody else's panel. Why don't I try that? And y'all could tell them it's from Gen X Jeff. Beyond Formal's having a birthday stream. TML is out. Hank is restreaming. I don't really know this Beyond Formal guy that well. Maybe I should drop you in TML's. He's just starting. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. I wanna test out this raid thing. Let's go raid TML. Ooh, this is exciting. All right, how does this work? I think it's I looked it up the other day. Now I'm more determined to do it. Live redirect, that's what it's called. All right. Customization, that's where you go. All right. Let's see. Yeah. All right, let's. Oh, it even tells you who's live. All right, everybody. Tell TML I said hi and enjoy his stream or whatever other stream you end up in. Oh, thanks, Sugar Spice. Mr. P, it's when you dump your chat into somebody else's channel chat. So I just rerouted everybody to TML's channel if I did it right. So if I didn't, I'll figure it out another day. Take care, Ricardo, and congratulations on the membership. Alas. All right. Good night, everybody. It was a pleasure, and I look forward to doing it again tomorrow. Take care. Peace out. Christ is King. Hail Satan.